Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, friend. Welcome to the Lutfi Daily Podcast, where we discuss interesting topics around the world of education. I'm Muhammad Lutfi, and today I'm very excited because I'm not alone. In this episode, I'm joined by a special guest, Virila, a student at the University of British Columbia, Canada, who will help us explore the fascinating difference between the education system in Indonesia and Canada. We will discuss how education in both countries is evolving, the challenges faced, and what we can learn from the experience. So stay tuned. Let's get started. Thanks for joining, Virila. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Can you tell us a bit about your education in Canada?
Okay, so basically, I'm a second year student majoring in statistics at University of British Columbia, Canada. My study here is covered by Indonesian government. It's called Indonesia Maju Scholarship. So the scholarship covers everything here from educational costs and non-educational costs. So I just need to study here and yeah, just like that.
Okay. The next, how do you see the fundamental difference between the education system in Indonesia and Canada?
In my opinion, there are some differences between educational system in Canada and Indonesia. So in Indonesia, the education system was designed so that students have to memorize everything, but here in Canada, students are encouraged to think creatively and critically. So it's not only about memorization of everything. And secondly, maybe about manners. So we know that in Indonesia, we really respect about politeness between students and teachers when we have to call our teachers like with Bapak or Ibu. But here, we don't need to be too formal with our teachers. So we can just only call their names. We don't have to call like Mr. or Mrs. So yeah, maybe that's the difference. And lastly, maybe for university, specifically for undergraduate students, there is no thesis writing requirement for students to be graduated at the end of the year, but it depends on the university and faculty itself. And for my program personally, it doesn't require me to write any thesis or scriptsy at the end of the year. Yeah.
Okay. The next, what are the biggest challenges facing students and teachers in Canada in the context of education?
Okay. As you know, that Canada is a multicultural cultural country, so people like are from around the world are coming here to study or work. For example, in my class, there are people from America, Africa, Asia, Middle East, and they are all equal in amount. So there is no race that being the majority here. So I would say this diversity is one of the biggest challenges that facing students and teachers in educational system. As you know that people with different race and different cultures have to be a unity in educational system. But as but after many years of adaptability, I think this diversity is no longer a challenge. Even it's like a unique thing that we found if we study in Canada.
The last, from your experience, and are there aspects of education in Indonesia that Canada could adapt or vice versa?
Okay, so what I felt when I experienced the transition from Indonesian high school to Canadian university, for academic life, it's a bit hard for me to catch up or survive here. So I have to need more. I have to put more effort on study to perform well on academic. So I think there are some aspects of education in Canada that Indonesia could adapt. Firstly, Indonesia need to improve the teaching and learning environments, and then Indonesia needs to make an educational system that encourage the students to think creatively and critically, not only memorize everything. And lastly, I think Indonesia needs to remove a seniority in educational environment. As you know, we have to remove this seniority so we can encourage equality between juniors and seniors, but still be polite to each other.
Wow, there are interesting differences between education in Indonesia and Canada. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Lutfi Daily Podcast. I'm excited to share an interesting conversation about the difference between education in Indonesia and Canada with our guest Wirila. Thank you so much, Wirila, for the insight and experience you share. See you in the next episode. Keep up the learning spirit and let's keep contributing to a better education. See you soon.
See you. Thank you.
Thank you.